Okay, hopefully we should now be live. Right, I think that's good. I'll just wait for someone to comment before I start rambling on about what it is we're going to be doing tonight in this stargazing live stream. The current time is 7:35, and in about 5 minutes time we're going to see the International Space Station fly across our night sky just behind me up here. Yes, awesome, there we go. Hello guys. Okay. Fantastic. Right, just before we proceed any further then, we're just going to check to see if this all sounds good. Does the audio sound good? Can you hear me nice and clear? Is the music not too loud? Did the fairy lights look okay? Because I know a lot of people are going to jump straight in and say turn those lights off. Don't worry, I'm gonna, but just for this moment, to set the scene, I'm going to leave them on. I think on my end there's about a 40-second delay between the comments that come through. Okay, all good. Fantastic, thank you very much, Zach. Thank you, Raptor Fishing. Thank you, Polish Everything 1970. Okay, awesome. My left ear loves it. You know what? I'm concerned by that because a lot of the videos I've been releasing recently, they have been a bit buggered with the audio. They only do one ear. But funnily enough, I think that works better on Reels. People stop and watch your content more just because something's a bit off by that. Right, okay, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to come off the YouTube bit, so I'm not going to be looking at your comments for a short while because I want to show you what it is we're going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be using this tabletop telescope just here, which is the Skywatcher HAC125DX telescope. If you've watched many of my videos before, you'll know I am a very big fan of this telescope because it's one of the fastest telescopes in the galaxy. It is capable of giving you live views like this. Oh god. Alright, let's make that bigger. And then let's adjust the settings. Okay, so I am going to turn off... Oh, it's disappeared. I'm going to turn off the fairy lights. So we can see the Orion Nebula properly. There we go, how's that? Alright, put that just there. Okay, so yeah, if you are an avid stargazer, you will know what this object is without me having to tell you. It is, of course, the Orion Nebula, a stellar nursery, a place within which new stars are being born. And if you look just up behind me here in the night sky, you're going to notice the constellation of Orion the Hunter. Now, allow me to point to exactly where Orion Nebula is located in our night sky. So you can probably see it right now, those 3 points of light that go up in a diagonal line like that. That is Orion's belt. There we go. And what we're actually looking at right now is just below the belt in its sword. So that just there, to the naked eye, appears as a very faint fuzzy patch of light. And as you can probably tell by the orientation of the telescope as well, it is literally aligned directly at it. We're going to be looking at a number of different objects throughout the course of the night, but I thought I'd start off with what I think is the best naked eye object in the entire night sky. It really doesn't get much better than this. Right. Yeah, I think what I'll do throughout the course of this live stream, it might be an hour, might be an hour and a half, not too sure. We're going to take some suggestions for different objects that we're going to look at throughout the course of the night. But just for now, I'm going to take off this live view, and then just to prove it is live, I suppose turn the fairy lights back on. Put my hand in front of it. Yeah, there you go. Right, let's briefly get rid of it, because in about 30 seconds or so, you're going to see a very bright point of light come across our night sky just behind me over here. Before I do this part, let's just check comments real quick and make sure I haven't made a glaring error. All good. Okay, all good. Right, so you'll have to excuse me, I've also got a cold, so if I do any sniffles, I apologise. Just behind, oh, I'm going to point the laser just yet because there's a plane near that orientation, but I'm going to use my finger, the good old fashioned way. See this point of light just here? That is the brightest point of, well, sorry, that's the brightest star in our night sky, Sirius. We're very fortunate actually to be able to see it here in the Northern Hemisphere, because I feel like most of the cool stuff that you can see in our night sky is only visible from the Southern Hemisphere. But that, as far as stars go, oh god, is that's as bright as it gets, okay, which is really impressive. But what you're going to see any moment now is a point of light many magnitudes brighter than that. It really is overwhelmingly bright. So you can see just going beyond Orion's belt right now, that flashing point of light, that's an airplane. So we're going to make a very important distinction here between what an airplane looks like and the International Space Station. And then I think the brightest point in our entire night sky tonight is also directly above me, just up here. You can see it at the very top of your screen. I'm hoping the resolution's decent, but that is the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter. So as far as bright objects in our night sky go, throughout the course of the night, that's the brightest, but what we're about to see is even brighter than that. Okay. I'm just having a look around to make sure I haven't missed it because I've been yapping. It is supposed to take about 3.5 minutes to cross over our night sky. Tell you what, hold on just a second, I'm going to stand up and see if I can see it any better. Ah, okay, here it comes, here it comes. Alright, there we go. Isn't that always the case? Alright. Looks really good. So, any second now it should be appearing from just behind the chimney up there. I can see next to the Pleiades. So you see above my chimney, or my neighbour's chimney, there it is. There it is. There is the International Space Station. Look at that. I was going to start the live stream at 8 o'clock, but then I decided, you know what, if I just pulled it back a little bit earlier, I could showcase this. Right, it's going really high right now. I think I might have to tilt the camera back. Da-da-da-da. Stop this. Okay, hopefully that is okay. Yeah, okay, you can see it. There it is, all the way up there. The very top of your screen, moving along right now. Wow, I can't believe it's gone directly overhead. It rarely ever does that here. Let's spin this round. Hope it's visible now. Yeah. Right, don't think you need any instructions on where it is, but let me just point to it just here. Look at that, there are real human beings on this right now, going over our heads at 17,500 miles per hour. Yeah, how cool is that? Alright, so that was the first part of our show. Spin this back down. Alright, you know what? I spent absolutely ages perfecting the camera angle. I fear I've now ruined it all. Okay, there we go. Hopefully no more standing up for the rest of this live stream. But yeah, what a way to kick things off. Let's have a look at some comments before we start any more stargazing. I'll tell you what, whilst that's going on, let's turn the fairy lights off and have a look at the Orion Nebula again. Okay, the audio might be picking it up. There is a very big plane going overhead right now. Okay, so how are we doing? Right, I'll just pop the mic over here so you can hear me better. Right, if you could all now just pop some suggestions into the chat and just let me know what it is you'd like me to point a telescope at next. So we are currently looking at the Orion Nebula. It can be deep sky objects, it can be stars, could be planets, could be Jupiter, but because the telescope has such a wide field of view, Jupiter doesn't look that great. Right, let's see if we can improve the view of the Orion Nebula. Oh, I tell you what, I'll give you some stats first. So right now it's shooting at 0.75 second exposures. So I'm going to change it now to 200 milliseconds. So as you can see, the image has gotten darker. But what's really cool about this is that now, especially at this time of day, you're going to see lots of satellites going around the Earth and their solar panels or whatnot's being reflected. So they're reflecting the sunlight at the perfect angle back down to here. So this is one of the worst times to be imaging, specifically because so many satellites flare up in your images. But right now, if you're doing some live viewing, then it really doesn't get much better than this. I'm gonna make this half the screen. There we go. And then we are going to wait and see when our first satellite pops up in our shot. So whilst that's going on, let's have a look at some of the comments. Right, M81 and M82 would be visible through that. They would. We could give that a shot. M81 would be sick. Morning from Melbourne, Pleiades. Good morning. All the way from Australia. What does that bad boy cost, Damon? I assume you're referring to the tabletop setup I've got just here. The telescope itself was £599, which, as far as telescopes go, very cheap. Pillars of Creation, I don't think that's anywhere near possible to see right now. We're literally at the wrong point of the year to see that. If you ask me again in August or September when we do another live stream, I think we'll have a better chance. Casper the Friendly Ghost Nebula, please. Hi, what does the Seagull Nebula look like? That's good, that's good. Pillars of Creation. Last one's already done the correction for that one, nice. Horsehead Nebula, Beetlejuice, Flame Nebula, Horsehead, Crab Nebula. Okay, alright, we've got some good suggestions. So let's start pointing the telescope around. I'm going to get rid of this just for a second. Turn the fairy lights back on. Look at that, it's nice, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. I'll do a quick overview actually of the telescope rigs that we have just here. So the one that you see on the far end of the view of this camera That is an Askar SQA130, and then the one just to the left of that is an Askar SQA106. So these are very premium astrophotography telescopes. They might not look the biggest, but in terms of quality they produce the best images around, especially for amateurs. I was going to say amateurs, but they're quite expensive. They're a couple thousand each. It's not cheap, especially in this hobby, getting gear like this. But they're incredible. I'm testing both of them out, and tonight is the best night imaginable because it is a new moon. The moon is at 0%, so you couldn't ask for better skies than this, or I suppose you could, but that would imply it's having to do this. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I do get the question quite a lot. Why do you have the fairy lights on? Astrophotography is all about getting the garden as dark as possible. The thing is, I spend a lot of time in this garden, and the two things that make astrophotography really, really not fun are if it's dark and if it's cold. So I feel like just having fairy lights on not only makes it well lit, but it also just makes you feel a bit warmer. Probably a bit of a psychological difference in that. But yeah, I just like being able to see what I do. I have a much better time, a much better experience if I can just see what I'm doing. And also, I measured the Whirlpool in my garden 2 months ago, and it came up saying it was 6.8, which I always assumed that I had like a Whirlpool 6-ish, and this was just after midnight when most of the streetlights around my area, they go off at midnight. The moon wasn't out, so it was basically ideal conditions. I'm trying to get like a good set of readings so I can find like a fair average, but yeah, it's actually really upsetting how light polluted my area actually is. If you use those online light pollution maps, you'll be able to find your own region for yourself, but whatever it is, you probably should add on like 10-15%, because it's likely when those readings were taken hasn't accounted for how much the stuff around you has built up over time, like if there's been new houses, new streets, new factories installed near where you are, then it just makes everything a lot more light polluted. But I mean, you can see right here, we've got a lot of light pollution going on. We are just outside Leicester, which is in the middle of England, and you can see behind me here all of the main features of our night sky. Like, this is literally the best part to look at. The only other thing I'd say that's interesting in our night sky right now is Ursa Major, which is over there. But behind us, we've got the bright star in our night sky, we've got the biggest planet, we've got the constellation Orion the Hunter. All the way up there to the top right of your screen, we've got Taurus the Bull, and just within our frame, we have the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades. So, yeah, it is a really, really good view that we have right now. Right. Okay. Where are we going? Sorry, every time I come back into the comments, it just lose my place. Venus. I don't think Venus is visible right now. Pleiades, a Polaris star, also known as the North Star. We can do that one. That's fine. Fairy lights make it look cool, in my opinion. That's a good opinion. I have just noticed that the camera has got caught on the slider. Yeah, what do you think of this as well? What do you think of the sort of effect we got going on here? Imagine if you're skipping through this video, like you're watching this later on as opposed to watching it live. You're going to be scrolling through it and you're just going to see the camera going zoop, 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 and it might look a bit weird. But I feel like this makes it feel more live. There's not many live streamers when it comes to stargazing, and those that do it, and I implore anyone who does it because this isn't easy, but the easiest way to do it is to be by your computer inside controlling something remotely, but you don't get the same effect. You don't get to feel like you're involved in what's going on, like you're really observing the universe. And I feel like as a hobby itself, astrophotography, astronomy, stargazing can feel very abstract because we're looking at things that are incomprehensible distances away, and also when we take these images, we're taking images of objects which won't appear the same to our naked eye. Like if I look at this object through a telescope, it will not look anywhere near as good as it did when I took 1 hour's worth of exposures. So I'm trying to find like a balance between the two where I can do an intimate stargazing feel, but also, yeah, still look professional, because I don't know, you can judge for yourself. Does this look a little bit dodgier? Just fix that. There we go. Hopefully I don't have to touch that again. Right. Okay, so some people have got clouds. This has probably been one of the few days this year that we've had clear skies in the UK. It's actually been a lovely day. I don't know if it's been the same all across the UK, but here in the middle of England it's been about 17, 18 degrees Celsius, so nice and toaster. Please do the Pinwheel Galaxy, Mezio 101, Leo Triplet, cool. M106. Oh god, it made me well start seeing Alan Wallace's name then. He was one of the guys who was an OG when it came to astrophotography. He was such a chill dude. His videos are really nice. You could just sit back and enjoy them. I feel like with the evolving landscape of social media, a lot of the stuff that I put out nowadays, it has to be quick cuts. It has to make sure people's attention is glued onto it. But yeah, Alan made some good videos. Okay, let's start pointing at some different targets then. Enough yapping. Oh, there we go. Look at that satellite going straight past us there. That was perfect timing. Okay, so this telescope, as good as it is, does have its limits. But let's give it a shot and see what we can pick up with it. Okay. Right, I'm going to try and just eyeball this. Yeah, okay, let's go for the Horsehead Nebula, just to start with. Mostly because that one is so close. Right, I really hope you forgive me for how jolty this is going to be. The go-to isn't working on this anymore, so we're going to go manual. That's the wrong way. Okay, needs to go left. There it is. Oh god, no, that was the wrong way. Was it the wrong way? Look at that, expert stargazer at work right here. Okay, so that's not far off. There we go. Okay, so I think I can see the flame nebula just there. Oh god. Let's get the mouse. Right. Let me see how that looks on the live stream. Drag that down just a little bit, put it over here. Right, now let's change the settings and see if we can maximise the view. So that was 1/5 of a second that we were seeing right there. Yeah, there we go, now we can see it. Alright, I can see the flame nebula, I don't know about you. Don't know how good the quality of your viewing is. Oh god, overshot it. So right now I'm playing around with the histogram settings just to stretch this image by the right amount so we can reveal a good amount of detail. Right, I can see that quite nicely on my screen. Let's just make sure you guys can see that too. Make it as big as we can. You just see me down here, hello. Right, so that is a 1.5 second exposure that's going on right now. Let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, well, basically 1.6 second exposure. So you can see it sort of jolting in its graininess every couple of seconds. So on the right hand side, very clearly you can make out the flame nebula. Oh look, here comes a satellite. whizzing through, just straight past the flame nebula. That's cool. Okay, let's make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. So flame nebula is super easy to make out, but the Horsehead is a dark nebula, so really what it's doing is it's obstructing the light from behind it. So you're not really seeing something that's like giving off light in our night sky, you're seeing something that's blocking it. But yeah, I think you can see that just about in the middle. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to make this really small now, put it in the corner so you can still see what's going on, but I'm going to go back to reading comments. Okay, so what is everyone's reaction to that? Right, so there's a lot of talk about making a Discord server. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't use Discord at all myself, so I don't really have much experience with it. But my younger brother is fluent in it, and he has offered to make me one 100 times. But my main concern is I don't think enough people would join it to make it worthwhile. But based on this, I think if we can get a decent amount of numbers. I tell you what, it's been really good recently, and I can't take any credit for this, to be honest, but let's put that back up. There we go. Yeah, on the 42 Wonders of Our Night Sky, when I was doing the public posts to my YouTube page, it was allowing people to share their own pictures of what they capture of the night sky. Now, that's something that could be, I think, very dangerous in today's world, because it means that people can just post pictures of anything they want. It doesn't have to be stargazing related. But from what I've seen so far, it's been used really well. People have been sharing all their images, and I love that. I love it when people are showing. It doesn't have to be the best image in the world, what you're sharing, but I think the quality of an image in astrophotography is heavily underappreciated. So I'll give you an example. When I applied for the Astronomy Photographer of the Year Awards a couple of years ago, the image that I was like most proud of was the one that I took of the Andromeda Galaxy with my smartphone. And that's simply because we'd now reached a point in time where amateurs could capture incredible images, well, decent images of our night sky and the wonders in them with the devices that they put in their pocket. Like, a smartphone isn't designed to take pictures of another galaxy, and yet I was doing exactly that. So that was the image I was most proud of, but I guarantee those judges took one look at that picture and they're supposedly judging it without any other further details, like they don't see names or anything like that associated with it. They took one look at that grainy photo and said, nah, that's awful. But what makes it such an interesting hobby is when you see the image, you go, that's cool, that's really cool, they've captured an object from out of this world. And then you go through the acquisition details of how they captured it, the telescope they used, the camera they used, the integration time, the portal of the location they're in, and that to me is when it gets insanely interesting. The things that we're able to capture from the comfort of our own gardens with mediocre gear in most cases, it's just phenomenal. So I think when I first really took an interest in the competition in Astronomy Photographer of the Year, everyone was using backyard setups, and that's when it was its most interesting, because you'd look at those images and the takeaway I'd get from it was, that's really cool, I could probably do that, I'm going to go try that for myself. So they were inspiring in that sense. But yeah, the year that I won an award, I was going through the images, I was like, so many of these are from remote observatories, and even mine was from a remote observatory. But yeah, that kind of made me realise that it's not as fun as it used to be, because it's whoever has the best gear gets the most attention. But anyway, to pull a full circle, seeing people post onto my YouTube page with their own pictures, oh, love it, absolutely love it. It's so interesting to just go through it. I used to go through the Reddit astrophotography subreddit. I haven't used it for absolutely donkeys now, but again, it's just so interesting to do. So thank you if you shared images onto my YouTube page. Please keep doing so. If you haven't done it before and you've got something you want to share with people, put it on there, because I'm seeing posts be shared on there get like hundreds of likes from people, so other members of the community are engaging with it. And I think that's what a Discord would be like. So it'd be interesting. I don't know if there are any other Astro creators out there that have Discords, but I imagine theirs are probably bigger, so I feel like I'm more inclined to direct you towards theirs. But I'd love to just make one for us to just share our amateur photos. That's the key word, amateur. God, I have just yapped on a lot out there, haven't I? Right, Spaghetti Nebula, Horsehead Nebula. Is he actually imaging? Yeah. This is live. What you're seeing right there is live. Let's chuck on the fairy lights. Sentence everyone hates to hear. There we go. Yeah, you can see the glare that these lights cause on the live image. It's like a 2-second delay between that. Yeah. Yeah, this is my favourite time of the night because there's certain light that's known as, is it astronomical twilight? Well, like beyond that point, it is actually dark, like properly dark, and that's when you can really start imaging and get good images. And I think that may have happened 10 minutes ago actually, but it happens around this point in time. So I feel like there's never any real pressure to start capturing high quality images until beyond that point. But around this point, when you got everything set up in the garden and I keep coming in and out, bringing out my gear and stuff, I come out to this is what I see every single time, and it's just like, this is a dream. Like, this is the best possible environment you could ever dream of as a stargazer. Maybe you could have like an open fire or something just in front of you. But yeah, this is all I've ever wanted. Just a chair like this. It goes all the way back like that. And then I've got my iPads, or my Xiaomi Mi Pads, and then you just get these out. You go on your ASI Air and whatnots, and then tap away. And then in between exposures, because I take like 3 to 5 minute long exposures, you just kick back, and then you just look up, and then you'll be surprised by how many meteors you see. But I guarantee you, however many you do see, there'll be 10 times more satellites. And as much as astrophotographers hate satellites, I think they're actually really fun to watch. Okay, so let's move on to another target. Gonna make this real big, just so you can get one last look at the Horsehead and Flame Nebula. Turn off the lights. And then I think, just because we're nearby it, I think we should probably go for the Rosetta Nebula as our next target. We're going to work our way around to the Pinwheel Galaxy and M81 and M82. See how we get on there. Okay. So let's decrease that down all the way. Do half a second exposure. And I can hear a very loud plane flying overhead. Okay. There's a satellite passing through it. I think this is the coolest setting to have it on when you have it like less than half a second exposure, because it means that you can watch them shoot past slower as they would in real time. But if you do 2-second exposures, it's just one big line. Okay, let's move. I'm going to use this tool here. It's the push to assistant tool on SharpCap. Basically, you just punch in what object it is that you're looking at. I actually have no idea if this is popping up on the screen. It's not, so ignore me. But yeah, SharpCap's really cool. The tool I'm using, I think it's £12 a year. Maybe it's gone up. But it lets you do all your stargazing stuff very easily. Very handy tool. Okay. And I'm using it to help guide me. Alright, so we need to go the opposite direction. Cool. Whilst I swing between the two, let's put the fairy lights on. Let's give you something to look at because I might be mucking around with this for a minute. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, 2 satellites crossing for the same field of view. Okay, so going this way. Is that the right way? Yep. Ooh, I think I've gone too far. Right, we are here. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, I can see a very faint outline. Alright. That looks decent. Right, you notice that satellite just went past them. You may have noticed it was a squiggly line rather than like a straight line zipping past. That's because, as you can see, while I've got the telescope on right now, this tabletop setting, not sturdy at all. I would not recommend it. But this is a very budget setup. I think the entirety of what you're seeing right here cost maybe a little over £1,000. But yeah, it's designed to just be super portable, super easy to set up. Alright, let's make this much bigger. And then we're going to increase the exposure to... Oh god, that's 2.72 seconds. Right, let's see how we get on with that. Okay. Right, there goes the satellite. Okay, the question is, how well can you make out the Rosetta nebula? Let me know if through the stream right now you can see the outline of this nebula. I'm trying to change the colour of the image because right now it's a little too green. Actually, you know what might be a fun idea is that for the next object that I slew to, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to let you guys figure it out in the comments. Oh god. Okay, I tell you what, let's crank that up to 5-second long exposure. There we go, now we're cooking, look at that. Ah, that's very blue. Wow. Yeah, you can definitely see that now, can't you? Tell you what might be a fun idea as well, is if I decide to live stack this image. See how that looks on my screen now. Okay, cool. Right, so rather than just refreshing the new 5-second image every 5 seconds, what I'm now asking SharpCap to do is to stack every sequential just never mind, every following image together to create a mega image that looks a lot less noisy and you can make out a lot cleaner detail. So watch as the magic unfolds. As this gets better and better. Let's make that even bigger on the screen. There you go. Oh. And that is turned out to be a pretty decent image within the first minute, and it is all captured with our tabletop telescope. Just as a reminder of what the night sky looks like, let's get rid of it for a second. You can see now that the Pleiades are just starting to dip behind the house. And then let's bring this back and make some finer tweaks. See if we can bring out some more detail. So according to SharpCap, that's now 100 seconds of exposure. Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. Oh, also, the entire time that this has been going on, the fairy lights have been on. So I think that's really impressive to get an image like that. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm happy with that. Right, sorry, you'll have to forgive me. I am very ill, so is Izzy. We are both very much under the weather at the moment, so I'm sorry that you have to listen to me narrate this. But what I'm going to do now, in the next couple of minutes, is I'm just going to take a moment to tell you some really big news, and that is, if you were following the 42 Wonders of Our Night Sky series, then you'll be delighted to know that what comes along with that series is a book. And I have just released that book. It's the first ever book that I've released ever, and to tell you the truth, it was an absolute nightmare to try and do. There it is, to the sound of someone revving their engine hundreds of meters away. Yeah, if you are interested in buying this book, it is available on Amazon worldwide for just under £10. I know, why is he plugging this? I just want to see some stars. I did two variations of this. One is available on Amazon worldwide, but I wasn't really too happy with the copy. That's for £9.99. Or if you live in the UK and you want to get like a really nice quality book like this, which is filled with incredibly vibrant pages. Oh my god, did I just rip it? High quality book, rips immediately. Yeah, a lot of effort has gone into making this book. I'm really proud of it. I think it's turned out very nice, and as of right now, I think we've sold something like 50 copies via Amazon, and I think it's 9 or 10 of the collector's edition on the official website. So really healthy numbers for a first day launch. The video that I shared to YouTube has done incredibly poorly. It says ranked 10 of last 10, and the stats for it are incredibly low. So my concern is that I think a lot of people who watch the series, and the series itself has over 400,000, maybe 500,000 views collectively over the 14 episodes. So lots of people actually engaged with the series, probably enjoyed it, and I think this is the perfect book for them because it's just under £10. Really interesting, easy to pick up and just go, you know what, I'm going to look at that tonight, or I've never known how to find the Helix Nebula in our night sky. Now I do, thanks to the help of this book. There's some games, there's some puzzles in it. I just think it's really cool. Obviously I do, because I made it. Yeah, so enough of that. Let's move on. Make that image really big. Ooh. There we go, how about that? The total exposure time on this now is 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So what you're looking at is a less than 5 minute long exposure image of the Rosetta Nebula with a $599 telescope. Yeah, that's pretty bloody cool. Jump back into comments real quick. First one I see is grown men revving their engine is a bit sad. I agree. Spine crack, lol. Yes, the spine did crack. That's what that sound was. Ooh. I bought a special edition type. I don't know what you call it. Collector's edition. Yeah, it comes with a bunch of like really nice prints, double-sided bookmark, and yeah, we put a lot of thought and care into that, and I've tried to make it really cheap as well. So that's only $29.99, and again, links in the description. I've also attached a link for this mount. This mount in the description below. I don't really advocate for much gear saying like, oh, go buy this. The only thing that I've really ever advocated for like strongly are the C-Star telescopes, because they're just like top draw in terms of getting people into the hobby for a very cheap amount. But that mount that's tracking the night sky and helping take these images, you can buy it from AliExpress for either a little under or a little over, depending on when you're looking at it, £300. So it is pretty much the cheapest option out there. Payload capacity is 5 kg. I'm pretty sure this rig on top of it right now is about 6 kg, so it's being put through its limits, that's for sure, but it's doing a decent job. Yeah, can't really complain. Yeah, right. A couple more comments, then I'll go back. Yeah, I really wish I could see the night sky from Australia. I will get there one day, and when I do, I'm going to take so many images I'll be able to come back and make a 42 Wonders of our southern night sky, and that'll be another really exciting series. I like Sharp Cap better than Nina, more intuitive to use. 100% agree with that statement. I don't know if it's because I used Sharp Cap in the beginning, but yeah, it just feels a lot more straightforward, especially when I'm doing this live viewing kind of stuff. The S50 brought me back into the hobby after leaving it about 10 years ago. They're just great. They're super simple. Yeah. Is that a HAC125 scope? Yes, it is. Hi Damon, what power supply did you use with your Jouet 14? It's a 12 volt 5 amp power supply. I bought 6 of them off Amazon the other day for about £12 each. Yeah. But generally I always plug it into like my TubeTech Stellavita or my ASI Air, and then have a cable running from one of them to power the mount. Night sky from Egypt must look sick in Cairo. Yeah, I imagine Cairo's got a lot of light pollution, but my first ever experience of a really dark night sky was when I was on holiday with my family in Sharm el Sheikh, so in Egypt, and yeah, that blew my mind. Just the stars out there were crazy. I think the dream is just to be somewhere where it's warm and it has clear nights. Like, why is that so much to ask for? It feels like there's so few places on the planet that let you do that. But there needs to be like a third criteria to that that's also very important, and that is you need to be near civilization. I know it's a massive trade-off, like you can't not have light pollution and then have civilization. But yeah, you see quite a lot on this channel that I go to the top of the mountain in Tenerife, Tahiti, and that's because you turn up at the airport and it takes 55 minutes to drive from the airport at sea level, literally it's by the coast, all the way up to the observation point of the mountain where there's like a hotel and there's a national park. So it's either go there and it be warm while stargazing, or drive 4 hours and go somewhere like Wales, or maybe 5 hours, 6 hours and go like Northumberland, somewhere north here in England. Yeah, if you're from the UK, you know what I'm talking about in terms of like good stargazing spots. But I just want to be warm right now because I am quite ill. I'm wearing 4 different fleeces at the same time, 2 pairs of trackies, and I think it's like 13 degrees. Still chilly willa. Right, last comments to read before then moving on. Dartmoor, Devon, that could be pretty good. I always read about Dartmoor, yeah, but again it's like 6-hour drive. So Tenerife is a 4-hour flight and then hour drive up the mountain, so it's like, which one do you choose? I also hate driving. My bum goes dead so easily. I think Astro Biscuit went to an island where he drove up to the top of the mountain and it was like Bottle 2-1. Yeah, I can't tell if he went Las Palmas, which is like literally the island next door to Tenerife, so yeah. I bet Bringling would be good, Bottle 0, majority of it, yeah. You know what was surprisingly bad? The Maldives. I went there, like literally travelling on a student's budget. I paid $55 a night for the hotel that I was staying at, It's supposed to be as good as it gets. Like, you're literally an island in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, maybe there's some really high clouds there, but I just remember being really disappointed by the quality of it. Live in a village, little light pollution and good community. You know what I actually need? And this is going to sound really poor, but I just need a Tesco's. Even a Tesco Express. If I can live somewhere that's in the middle of nowhere, bottle one skies, but there's a Tesco Express next door, I'm fine. I am absolutely fine. I'll get all my essentials from there. I can get my meal deals. Yeah, that's all I really need. It's like when you go abroad and shopping and stuff. And I've had some holidays where it's like, you just feel like you can't get any decent food. A lot of the times I went to Italy, you'd go down for breakfast, and the breakfast was just meat and ham. Sorry, meat and cheese. That's what it was for breakfast. I was like, what is this? You know? Where's my full English? God, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? But yeah, a comfort thing for me is just a nice quality supermarket. And yeah, I used to work at Tesco's, so Tesco's is a familiar one. Ooh, okay. There's been a donation of 25 Norwegian kroner. I'm going to guess that one is. C-Star S30, is it worth going for the Pro? They're both really good options. You cannot go wrong. C-Star S30 is $349, maybe $399. The S30 Pro is about $599. The core concept of what you're paying for is a device that will easily get you intuitive, like engaging with the night sky. So I think both are bargains. The images I've captured with the S30 Pro though are ridiculous. Like, they really are. They could go toe to toe with a rig like this, which is twice the cost of it. If you can afford the S30 Pro, obviously get it. It's the same on most things, isn't it? It's like, if you can afford the more expensive version, it is worth the money. But for less than $400 that the S30 is, I think that is one of the best bargains on the entire planet, even outside of astronomy and astrophotography. Like, something that does all that, absolutely insane. I've just returned to the UK from working in Antarctica. The night sky down there is spectacular. Oh my god, yeah, that does sound insane. God, I can only imagine what that's like. Did you get the aurora most nights? Well, I suppose it's... Is it still called the aurora? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like the southern... I was going to say the southern aurora. What's the name for it? We get aurora borealis here in the UK. Is it Australis borealis down there? Either way, yeah, I bet it looks insane out there. Very cool, very cool, very cool. When is the giveaway? I posted a video, I think like an hour ago, sharing the winners, well, not all the winners of the giveaway, but you'll know that you've won because you'll have a notification of me replying to your comment. And for those of you that have won, and I think I've received like 40, maybe 50 emails already so far, which is really good. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just busy preparing for the live stream. I will get back to them probably tomorrow. Okay. I'm just going to scroll down. Yep, thank you very much. Okay, cool. Everyone's filling in the gap. Australis. Let's look at something else. Let's keep this moving. That is a 13-minute, 35-second exposure of the Rosetta Nebula. Now let's bin it off. I tell you what, I think it's because I'm doing reviews at the moment for like very expensive astronomy gear, but I'm really just itching to make the cheapest setups possible and just capture some fun images with it. And I think that's why, even though on the far right you've got one of the best setups you could possibly ask for, I'm still sharing this one with you because it's just more fun. It's more fun trying to like get the most out of everything. Most out of the little stuff. Okay, I'm going to point the telescope somewhere else in our night sky. It's going to take a couple of minutes. But I want you guys to try and figure out what it is that I have pointed it at. Okay, here we go. Alright, the telescope is moving. I don't know if you can tell by the tripod that I've got it mounted on, but yeah, I've tried to stabilise it as much as possible so those tripod legs are sprayed out as much as possible. Oh, I didn't realise the time is 8:30. Right, we might do 20 more minutes, maybe 30 more minutes, because Izzy's cooking dinner, and then I'm going to hop off. I am going to be stargazing all night tonight, because like I said, it is a perfect night, and I think I'm going to be doing a lot of colour images, because it's a new moon. Okay, alright, that's reset. Here we go. Oh, I should probably put the sharp cap up, shouldn't I? Duh. Put that down. Okay, so I haven't pointed at the object just yet. I'm going to. But let's bring that up so you can see much better. Okay. Time to test your stargazing knowledge. I really should hand out some prizes for this, shouldn't I? Like the first person to correctly guess what the object is. I mean, that'd be a fun stargazing live stream, wouldn't it? Me just zipping to different targets and you guys... Issue is, these things always get gamified. Someone always finds a way to cheat the system. I'm sure someone would build their own plate solver, live plate solver, which is just a way of figuring out what the object is. Okay, I will tell you when I found the object. Okay, we're almost there. We are about 85% of the way there. Do I give you a hint about what it is we're going to be looking at? Nah. I could say if it's a nebula, if it's a double star, if it's a star cluster, but I am going to let you guys figure it out for yourself. Just like I did in the old days. When astronomers had to look at stuff and go, is that a comet? And they'd be like, nope, it is not. Alright, I see it. I see it, and there's a satellite going past it as well. Alright, go on and shoot your comments in. Let me know what you think that is. Let me center it in the screen first as well. And I'll bump up the exposure. If you're still trying to guess, don't peek at the comments because you'll spoil it for yourself. I'm going to make this progressively easier for you guys to spot. So, let's first make it as big as we can on our screen. Right, so yeah, it is like, oh god, what am I trying to do? As though my hand's going to appear in front of the screen. Yeah, it is towards the middle of the screen. Just going to jump on the comments real quick. Yeah, you guys are good. I mean, is it one of the most iconic deep sky objects in our night sky? Maybe. Nah, you gotta be a proper stargazer to get that, let's be honest. Okay, let's try and fine tune it. Oh god, tracking's not on. Okay. Oop, too much. You will probably not be so delighted to know that we've got this far into the live stream, and I think I've just realised that the telescope isn't properly in focus. Okay, that right there is the object we are looking at. So, if you haven't guessed already, get your guesses in now, because this is going to be as good as it gets. Yeah, look at that. You guys are too good. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. I'm just going to quickly chuck on a live stack and see if we can bring out much more detail in it. Oh god, it's so bright. Pop you down there. Oh, I tell you what, it is struggling with that, isn't it? Gosh, I don't know how much better that actually is than what we had in the live view. Oh god, it's being clipped even more. Right, center on the screen. Now let's fine tune. Yeah. Alright, you know what, to be honest, to a normal person, that might not seem that special. But let's look at it from our point of view as stargazers, as amateur astrophotographers. That is one of the coolest things that you could possibly see. And the fact that I'm seeing it right now, you know what, let's just get rid of it. The fact I'm seeing it right now from my garden at home with this tiny little telescope just here, this light bucket, is pretty obscene, pretty crazy. If Galileo, Newton, Huygens, Cassini, if they could see this now, yeah, they'd lose their mind. Okay, let's jump back on to comments. Let me know when you guys are ready for another test. I think we'll do 2 more tests and then I might have to jump off so I can have some chicken, pasta and peas. Let me know what you guys are having for dinner. Let me know as well where you guys are viewing from right now, because I'll tell you something really interesting that I noticed when I went to the number of sales for my book that was released yesterday. The 3rd highest country that had sales was the United Kingdom, which is ridiculous. The first 2, and I promise these will surprise you, were Germany and the Netherlands. So there are more Germans and Dutch people interested in the 42 Wonders of Our Night Sky book than there are Brits, let alone Americans, Canadians and all sorts. Right, so comments. Greetings from Sweden. I was just outside testing my EOS R that I astro-modded myself, comparing it to my EOS RA. Yeah, nice. That's fun. That is an awesome image. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Let's be honest. Are you using a sensor that is a little too big for the scope? No, I tell you what that actually is. I've got a 1.25 inch UHC filter in front of the camera, and the goal of that is to bring out a bit more of the nebulosity in certain deep sky objects like the Orion Nebula, Horsehead Nebula and the Rosetta Nebula. Don't know how much of a good job it does for the Whirlpool galaxy and the others, but I think it filters through the view quite well. Let me just make sure that Izzy hasn't texted me to make sure dinner's ready. Nope, it's a notification about football saying that Liverpool are 1-0 up. That sucks. Yeah, alright. So yeah, with that filter, it just means that there's a bit more of a, what would you call it, vignetting around the image. Yeah. Considering you were doing this live, props for managing it. Yeah, cheers. Yeah,
I want to do more stuff like this, I really do, but there's two main factors that stop you from doing stuff like this. Number one is the weather, which is an absolute nightmare, and number two is it takes a lot to set everything up that you are seeing around you right now. Yeah, so if you do want to see more live streams like this, then the easiest way to help is to just, I was going to say I think it's hype. Is that, like, go onto YouTube now, you can hype a live stream or like it, whatever you do. Oh no, that's it, love hearts. You know, like the bottom right. I don't know how much of an effect these things have, but like, just engage with the content. That's the easiest way to ensure that you see more of this. Right. Wales. Norway. Nice. Nice. Every time I try and read a comment, it just jumps down even more. Okay, Germany. Austrian, very cool. Mexico, look at that. Australian viewing from Japan, very cool. Okay, alright, let's jump off this. Alright, so that is of course the Whirlpool galaxy, but what we're now going to do is go on to another target. Alright, I'm going to give you a hint, but you don't need a hint, clearly, but the hint is, it's next door. Right, that is the secret to this. I'm not viewing the comments, but I guarantee that there are people right now guessing exactly what it is. And they are probably right. Okay, let's put it back on the screen. There it is. That's the wrong way. Almost there. Oh God. Okay. So yeah, again, points will go to the person who gets this quickest. Alright, I think it should be within view now. Is that it, bottom left? No. There it is, I can see it now. Oh God, that is very faint. Okay, let's pump up the exposure. Satellite whizzing past. Let's do 5 seconds for the exposure. God, this one's hard. This one is hard. Yeah, without that clue, this one isn't either. Yeah, that's not good. I'd say that's borderline impossible. Let me jump on the comments. Okay, people have got it. I don't know if they've got it from actually seeing it or if they've got it from just a suggestion. Let me make it full screen. And let's jump into a live stack, see if that gives us a better image. Okay, there we go. That's about as good as we're going to get. Look at that across. Oh god, the vignetting's really strong on that, isn't it? So, let's see if anyone guessed it straight away. Oh, interesting. So a lot of you went for M81. Pinwheel Galaxy, yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Right, I can in fact reveal that the correct answer is indeed the Pinwheel Galaxy. That is what we're looking at right now. Messier Object 101. It is a huge spiral galaxy. The previous one was M51 Whirlpool Galaxy. That is two galaxies interacting with one another, both spiral galaxies. But yeah, they're very close to each other in the night sky. But I think you can judge for yourself. The Whirlpool is a lot nicer to look at. See if we can get rid of some of that green. I mean, I'm starting to see it a bit more distinct now, but to be completely honest, if you showed me that blank with no previous context, I'd probably hazard a guess to say the Fireworks Galaxy. Yeah, no, you can see a lot of detail there. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you that is going to be very surprising, and that is, oh god, moving the wrong thing. So this telescope is almost designed for looking at the night sky in real time. It's a very handy tool, very good for outreach. Huge fan. And that's kind of its main component, mainly what it's used for. But I decided to test the Askar 130 out with the ASI 4400 MC. And if you don't know what any of those things mean, it means expensive rig, very expensive rig. And see how good that was at live viewing the night sky, and it was a lot better, a lot sharper, with that big of a camera size as well. The image just appeared a lot brighter, even though the f ratio for that is f4.8, whereas this is f2, which means like it's a square law. So this is almost, I want to say 5, maybe 6 times faster in terms of light gathering speed versus the Askar 130. But yeah, the shots I got with that were insane. And I wanted to use that tonight, I really did, but there was one major issue, and that is because it was bringing through live images that were 8K resolution, the old laptop wasn't handling that too well. Yeah, so I've gone for the Player One Saturn camera, which takes 9 megapixel images and gives you them as a live stream. I can hear Izzy eating food, which I think means she started having dinner without me. So I do not want to get in her bad books. So let's shoot that down. Do we do one more target? Oh, I really do want to do M81 and M82 because they do look good. But you know what? I think we're going to have to save that for another time, unfortunately. If you did enjoy this live stream, like I said, let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment, give it the love heart thing. Let's have a look at the live stream. Yeah, I am very cold right now, so please forgive me for sniffling. Okay, again, I'm sorry, when I go on the comments, it just shows like the most recent 10, but that's cool. I just saw the word Arsenal and I was like, yes, come on. But someone has asked, what's your favourite telescope in your arsenal? Damn. Favourite telescope? Might be this one. Yeah, I'm going to say that. It's the Skywatcher HAC 125DX. Funnily enough, the vast majority of telescopes in my arsenal, my itinerary, are telescopes I've been sent to review, because telescopes are super expensive and can't really afford them myself. But yeah, this is just cool. It is so cool. It's so lightweight, so easy to take around, and the images are really good. Sorry about that. Yeah. Second favourite? At the moment, it might be the TubeTech Hope D60, if you're aware of what that telescope is. Again, very tiny, but the images taken with it are incredible. And then if I had to say one more telescope, I'd maybe say the Askar SQA106, which is the smaller brother of those two that are set up on the right hand side. Yeah, because the images I got with that, with a colour camera, were just absurd. That's when I really felt like I could take good images from my garden. I don't have to go to a one location, I can do it here, and the images are still like, I'll say print-worthy. That's a relative term, say print-worthy, because everyone decides for themselves whether or not something is good enough to be put out there, but yeah, they were good images. So, last couple of questions, and then we're going to shoot off. Can you look back through them later? Yeah, I can look back. I've saved those images, so I will be able to fix them up. Oh yeah, what do you think of the slider? What do you think of that? Should we use that in future videos, future live streams? Is it too fast? I can change the setting on it. I can actually make it twice as fast. Not sure that's a good idea. The thing I noticed with the previous live streams is that you have a camera fixed at the same area for a long period. During a live stream, it's sort of like the compression of the image. It starts to get like pixelated and a bit rubbish, but I just feel like a bit of motion makes it seem clearer, if that made sense. Come on, Arsenal. Yeah, yeah, you know what? I could literally be on my deathbed, but if it's a clear night, I'm still going to be outside. I'm just sorry for you guys for having to listen to me with a head full of cold. I was Charlie George, but it was a long time ago he played. God, you know what? If we start talking about Arsenal, I'll be here for another day. Okay. Yeah, alright, let's wrap it up. What's your favourite galaxy, Damon? Favourite galaxy? It's a tie between Sombrero and Andromeda. Yeah, I had to choose. Right, I'm going to wrap things up then. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to all of those who have watched the entirety of this. That's really cool. Really cool. And yeah, just share it with other people. And I'll probably upload this as a full video afterwards. So I much prefer doing live streams over doing actual videos. Shooting that entire 42 Wonder series was a blast. It was really fun. Editing it, absolute nightmare. It was so stressful, so time consuming. Every single episode was taking like 2-3 weeks to like go through, and you're thinking like the video's like 20 minutes long, but it's just to source everything and like develop all the graphics and the animations to go into it. So that will stand the test of time. That will be something that people will go back and watch for years to come. Like even when I have kids, they'll still be around looking for stargazing content. And I mean, as it currently stands, that's it. That's all that's out there. So I'm happy with that. But doing stuff like this, doing live streams, super easy, much more enjoyable, because I get to switch off the camera now, go inside, that's it, done. Yeah. Thank you to the geezer who donated, really appreciate it. Yeah. Just helps with the future production of videos on the channel. And I've seen someone do the hammers emoji. Don't know if that means you're a West Ham fan, but yeah. Goodbye, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully we'll do this again soon. Fingers crossed if the skies stay clear. Awesome. Have a good night and clear skies.